Hey, 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 it's T Rob here with the Biz Pulse here on the DS Network. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm excited because I have a special guest um, that I've watched some of her other streams, and she does a little bit of everything. And we really want to get to know Ashley Ash and all that she's doing and for the community, but just to educate us on stuff of what she has done, because the Biz Pulse is a lot about, we try to get inside of careers and businesses and just talk to people about how they got to certain places in their life. But we're also going to talk about a really cool, I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to let her kind of introduce that part of it. Something that she supports and me as well. So without me hanging her out any longer, I'm going to bring Ashley Ash in. Hey, hey, hey.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me, T Rob. It's so awesome meeting you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for carving some time out. I know you have a really busy schedule. I was trying to do some research on you a little bit, and I was watching a stream with Crypto Heartbeat that you did, which Matt's one of my favorite guys ever. But yeah, but I think he talked to you about, and I didn't know this, but you're an actress, right? I mean, you're into
Yeah,
acting.
yeah, trying to be. Trying to make
Yeah.
my way through that industry. Interesting industry.
Yeah. Well, that's cool because I heard that and I'm like, man, that's got to be a tough industry. So I wanted to first talk to you about who Ashley Ash is and kind of your background on how the heck you got into crypto.
Cool. So I guess maybe I'll hit it from the career standpoint, since you said your podcast about careers and finance and things like that. So career wise, I thought I was going to be a teacher. I went to school for teaching. I did some teaching, and it went well. But I'm like, you know what? This isn't what I want to do the rest of my life. And it was kind of, spent a few years like trying to figure things out. And then I took an acting class and I fell in love with it. That was it for me. Like everything like finally clicked and made sense. I'm like, oh, this is it. This is it. So I left teaching. I went down that path, and I'm still in the midst of training and trying to get started in that. Done some minor things, independent things, web series and stuff. So and then in the midst of all that, I ended up getting into crypto. So something I was always aware of, like most people, we all had been hearing about Bitcoin for years, but I didn't quite get it. I thought, 100, I'm like, I can't afford 180 bucks, just give it. I'm like, I can't buy a whole Bitcoin. What is this?
All right.
Not realizing maybe I could have sold something and bought a bunch or whatever, bought it a little bit. So I ignored it, threw it aside. And then, you started hearing how Bitcoin was going. So in 2020, while we were all kind of figuring things out during the pandemic, I thought, you know what? Let me get back into this, see what this is all about. Discovered altcoins, got into Ethereum too, made some nice gains in it, and then came across Hex. I went on Twitter, I would search crypto, and then I would see people talking about Hex. And so
Mm.
put a little bit in there, got confused about what it was about, the staking, the T shares and everything. I'm like, I'm having trouble, so I abandoned it. Then I went back
Gotcha.
to my wallet, saw how much it had really gone up. Then I'm like, okay, this is something I really need to learn and understand and look into. Um, Dumped everything into Hex, Pulse, and Pulse Chain, and never looked back. Here I am now, and it's been the best thing that I've done crypto wise.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Um, Somebody said bad audio. I hear clipping, and I don't know if it's on my side or your side. Um, I don't.
Okay.
Let me look at a few things real quick. Ashley, sorry
Sure.
about that.
No, it's all good. Should I keep talking so you can see your levels?
My levels are good.
Okay.
Um, I don't know why it's clipping like that. Bear
This
with
is
me just a second here.
okay.
Technical difficulties. It says only on you is what they're saying, Ashley. So um,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's. Do you want to jump out and come back in? Sometimes that'll fix it. So I'll
All right.
move you real quick and just jump out, and you can come back in, and we'll see if
All
it
right. I'll
works
try
better.
that.
All right, so we had a little bit of technical difficulties. Ashley's jumping out. I'm going to jump back in and see. We'll go to the chat right now. Just want to say thank you for everyone that's here. Bearded Saint, thanks for showing up, man. The Hexagon Contractor, thank you for being here. Audio issues, yes, sir. We are working on it. Warped Impulse, thank you for letting us know that. And hopefully we can get her back on board and some better audio. I know she was having issues. StreamYard was kind of being weird. So hopefully we get her back. But I wanted to talk to you briefly about what's going on. I just saw something on Twitter that kind of intrigued me a little bit, and it's Elon Musk. I mean, I know he's a hot topic right now. But I saw he tweeted that, for casual users of Twitter, it's probably going to be free, but for commercial, there's probably going to be a fee. So kind of interesting, something we may talk about here with Ashley. Let me jump in with Ashley and see how her audio is doing. Hey,
All right.
Ash,
Hi. So how do I sound now? Hopefully that did it.
you sound better.
Good. Good. Okay.
Great. Thank you for doing that. So
No problem.
StreamYard,
Yeah. And this is usually the device I typically use. So I think everything's all right on my end too. I guess it's just.
yeah. You're still kind of quiet because I have my
Mhm.
volume all the way up to hear you, but it's not clipping or anything, so it should be okay. If you
Okay.
guys let me know it out there, audio is good now for Ashley. Perfect. Thank you,
Okay.
Hexagon Contractor. So sorry, where were we? We'll let you get back to it. So
Oh, so I just ended my story with how I found Hex and Pulse and Pulse X, and I never looked back, and here I am now.
nice, nice. It's funny, I was kind of the same way maybe as you. I tried to get in way back when, and I lost money because I didn't know what I was doing, and then I was like,
Mhm.
I am not messing with crypto anymore. And then I did kind of the same thing. I saw this Hex thing, and Kinetics was like, man, you got to get in this, you got to get in this. So I jumped in, and I'm glad I did. It's been great, but incredible community for sure.
Totally.
So I want to touch on the next. We know how, when, and where. So tell me
Mhm.
who you are. I mean, you say you're an actress, right? Are you doing commercials? What are you doing? Are you just trying to break into that?
I am. So my training background is pretty much in everything. The studio I train with in New York City, we hit it from all angles: television, theater, film, and then I went and I've had my own training outside of there in commercial and voiceover. So I'm open to whatever because I just love to act. So anybody wants me, puts me somewhere, lets me do something that I love. I am happy to do. So I am currently in the midst of looking for representation at the moment. So
Ah.
that's where I'm at now, and yeah, working my way through that whole process.
So if somebody wanted to get into that field, I mean,
Mhm.
you go out and you find a rep that kind of, and what they're doing, they're just trying to find you gigs. Really, is that kind of what they
Yeah,
do?
pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah, yeah, they
Okay.
represent you. But definitely wouldn't jump into that first. The training is like your biggest foundation. So I've been training since 2016, and
Okay.
I'm just now, yeah, looking for representations. A lot of people do it. A lot of people like to do it faster than that. Just my life circumstances didn't allow for that for a while. So I figured, you know what? Let me just go all in on training until my circumstances and time, gives me that opportunity.
Sure.
But yeah, totally. I would never neglect training. It's been incredible.
Oh, that's cool. That
Yeah.
takes a lot of skill and just drive. I mean, I'm sure it's one of those. It's probably one of those things where you work, 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 work,
Mhm.
and you just hope that you get it. Like, somebody please, book me. I get it.
Yeah.
I did music and I was the same thing. You're like, oh man, somebody give me a gig. So
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a numbers game, really, is what it comes down
yeah,
to.
for sure.
Eventually, somebody's going to say yes.
For sure. So let's jump. Let me look at the chat here real quick and see who we have in here. Da, da, da. TikTok crypto. Good morning. Not sure where TikTok crypto is, but good morning to you.
Be Australia?
I don't know. Must be. What is a good ratio for p-hex to pulse? It's each to their own. I can't. I mean, that's kind of an opinion right there. I don't know that there's a set ratio for it that I'm aware of, and no financial advice either. So, I mean, Ashley, you can speak if you want on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because, like you said, it's really an individual thing. For me, because I came into Hex in the fall and spring, the fall of 2020 and spring of 2021, I kind of missed the boat in being able to accumulate a large amount of Hex. So for me, my ratios of pulse are going to be bigger just because I was able to get into the sacrifice. So that's what works for me because I have no other choice. But I plan to accumulate, more P hacks and just, I'm just going to be a hoarder of all the Richard Hart products.
I feel exactly the same way. Like I'm just going to hold tight to what I have, and just be like, let's see what it does. Cause I get somewhat, I mean, I haven't been in that long, so I get somewhat confused when you see all these different people. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, I'm just going to hold on to what I have, Yeah. So, well, cool. Great question. Thank you for that question. So another thing that I learned about you, and you and you probably were better at than I was, but you were a teacher, right?
Yeah.
You actually taught high school. I taught social studies in high school for a very short time, and I found out no way.
I feel ya.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have so much respect for teachers because that literally was the hardest job I ever did. Just because, yeah, you're dealing with so many different personalities and the discipline thing, and it's unbelievable what teachers do. And I'm just like, I'm blown away by people I'm blown away by people that retire from teaching. I'm like, how did you do it that long? So speak. How long did you teach for?
Well, then I'm gonna date myself, and everybody will know how old I am. So I'll be vague. I taught for a little while. I didn't teach for a really long amount of time because you know what? I knew during my master's, because in New York State you have to have your master's in order to teach. I knew during my master's I wasn't into it, but I said, you know what? Whatever. Let me follow it through until I figure something else out, which was a mistake because then I ended up paying for a master's. But just so. Oh, so I'm sorry. The question was how long?
Yeah, just how long,
Yeah.
but you don't have to give it exact. It's just
Yeah. So
yeah.
it wasn't, yeah. So not a long amount of time because I just wasn't feeling it. It went well. And I have to say the kids weren't terrible where I worked, but it's just the school environment. I find it a very oppressive environment for everyone, for people that work in it and for the kids that are learning. And I'm like, that's not a healthy place for kids to learn. It's very stifling of individual thought and creativity and everything. And I'm like, this is just depressing to be a part of. And I can't spend the rest of my working career doing that.
Yeah. They're saying your audio. I hear your audio kind of clipping out again. I don't know what's going on, but
I wonder if I can change one of my settings. I see an option here to change my mic volume. So maybe I won't clip, where I can manually adjust it. How does that sound?
That's way better.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
And that was it. It was there. It's StreamYard's automatics.
Oh, gotcha. No, that's you cured the problem. Thank you.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, the way you felt about teaching, I felt the same way because I just felt like I was it's going to sound terrible, but like almost in prison. Like you're inside, and I'm more of an outside person, so it was so hard to be in a school all day every day. For me, I know a lot of people enjoy it, and I get it, but it just wasn't for me. But but I learned a lot about myself then, so that's always a good thing.
Good. You know what? It's just part of the path.
Yeah.
I feel like if we hadn't gone down those roads, then maybe other things wouldn't happen. Like for me, I feel like, well, if I hadn't been unhappy teaching, maybe I wouldn't have found acting. So I think it just leads us to where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's a plan for our life, and we don't write it, So we just try to follow the path as best as we can,
Yeah,
and that's hard sometimes.
totally. 100%.
Um, so with the Pulse Chain launch,
Yeah.
um, how excited are
I,
you?
I'm very excited. I
Yeah,
know we're not supposed to have expectations, right? Not
yeah,
expect from the work of others. But I'm pretty positive because like when you look at the tech, when you look at the momentum behind it, both things, I'm like, there's no way that it's not going to be successful. And we know Richard Hart isn't a scam artist, so that's not even a concern, for us. But I think like, and I don't want to say, because both of us, we are of the same faith. Our hope isn't in crypto.
right.
So that's not where I put my hope, but it kind of brings a little hope in a different way, I think, at least for me, maybe for my generation. I feel like we've had the rug pulled from under us in so many ways.
Yeah,
All the things we were promised and the things we were prepared for in school never happened. So I feel like crypto is kind of giving back that power in a way, saying, oh, look, maybe you do have a few opportunities here. So that makes me very optimistic, a little more optimistic for the future than I have been in a long time. So that's how I feel with it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I appreciate that, and it's hard to, like, faith wise. You
Mhm.
don't want to throw your faith into something else. So,
Mhm.
but I'm kind of right there with you. I'm excited, but I'm trying to be, you know, uh, not lean on it. I guess it's like,
Mhm.
whatever happens, happens. But that's hard. Definitely
I
hard
try,
sometimes.
yeah, no, I try to take that mentality of, you know what, I could lose everything tomorrow.
Right.
You know
Right.
what, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather it not happen, but
That's
but
right.
so be it. Because there's worse things that could
Yeah.
happen.
For sure. For sure. So tell me something that, like, no one knows about Ashley Ash. Like, what what drives you? That's always a good question. I love to know what drives you.
What drives me? You know what? I've never thought about that. But and it's probably just gonna sound typical and cheesy, but I would say it for me because my faith is a big part of my life. That's a big driving force, and it dictates. I don't want to say dictates, but you know what I mean. It
Mhm.
navigates. It leads me wherever I'm supposed to be. I'm trying to use that as a guiding point in my life. So that's
Sure.
what drives me. Also, family. I'm very much a family person. I come from a tight knit family, so we kind of operate in that way where we're just one big unit. So those are my two main drivers. But if we want to get outside of that, you know what? I'm just like a person who's all over the place. I'm impulsive. I like to have fun. I'm curious. I like to learn. So I
Yeah.
think that's a huge, if you look at the way I operate, I think that is like a big thing with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
My
cool.
curiosity and impulsivity.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw, I mean, I know you've done some streams yourself, right? I mean, you're a content creator as well. Is that
Oh,
something you're going to do more of in the future? I mean, are
oh,
you
definitely.
cool?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure that out, trying to navigate that. And
Yeah.
everybody's been so awesome and generous and helping me out and coming on streams and stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely yeah, trying to figure out my way through it, but I hope to continue it and make that, a bigger thing for me. I'm having a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why we do it. It's definitely for the fun. And I'll tell you this: if I can do it, anybody can. So, so I always urge everyone, man, start creating content. Even any kind of content. I mean, content's content. The more content, the better. So, um, anyway, let me look at my notes here real quick. Are you going to PulseCon? Are you going to go to PulseCon at all, or you thought about that?
I don't have any plans at the moment because also
Okay.
part of the thing is I didn't get into Hex early enough to change my life yet. so
I'm with you.
So yeah, so things are a little challenging and tight at times. So at this point, I don't have the ability to go to PulseCon, but if anything changes, I would love to be there with you guys. So it could go either way. It's up in the
Yeah.
air.
Yeah, I always ask. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I didn't get into Hex, like, I think it was November of last year. So
Mhm.
I haven't been in very long either. So I'm right there with you on that stuff. But um Let's see what we got. We got David Morales. Just depends on how wealthy we will be, not if. Good point, David. Good point on that.
Positive.
Yes. Hex fan, what's up, guys? What's up, Pulse Orca? I don't know what I was about to say, but thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate all the support. Ashley Ash here. She's just telling us all about herself, and we're asking questions to try to. I'm a digger, okay? So I just try to get more out of people, and not to give up your personal space, but I always love to people understand who a person is, because I feel like that's key when you're trying to bring people in streams. Is like, I'm not the kind you won't see a lot of projects on mine. It's more like individuals, because I like to get to know the people and what's behind them, So that's why I ask what drove you, because it's always interesting. That question to me is always one that's pretty interesting, because you get a lot of different answers. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's kids, sometimes it's whatever. So anyway, but you answered it great. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's something I want to touch on, and we talked about it, and I put it in the thumbnail, is Hookers for Jesus. And, people hear that and they go, what? And they just don't even understand what it is, and how amazing it is, and all that's been done through that. So I'd love for you just to talk about it. We can even pull the website up, and I can show that off as well if you'd like. But I know, I mean, you're not directly like, it's something you support. I know that you're not. Yeah. So I would love to just hear, what you think of it and what makes it so special to you.
Oh, totally. So like you said, I have no affiliation in it. It's just like, how we all have like our preferred ministries or charities, or just something that grabs us. And Hookers for Jesus, just the work that they do completely just blows me away. They do such incredible work they rescue people from sex trafficking, people that are trapped in different parts of the sex industry. And first of all, let's touch on that name a bit. Hookers for Jesus. I know that throws a lot of people off, because people are like, whoa, are these people that are hooking in Jesus's name? But
I know.
Andy Lobert always makes it very clear that it's based on Matthew 4:19, where Jesus says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." So they're hooking people on a fishing line for Jesus, and she's a former hooker who's doing that and rescuing people in that industry. So just a total play of words, and based on that verse in Matthew. So that's where that starts. So yeah, I just wanted to clear that up first. But yeah, so I think I had watched, Annie did a video, an I Am Second video. Are you familiar with I Am Second?
I am.
So for anybody that's not familiar, it's like maybe like 10-minute videos where somebody talks about their life and their faith. And I first saw her video and I was blown away by her testimony. So I started looking more into the work she did and the charity. And she has a special that I think you can buy on Amazon Prime for a few bucks, called Hookers Saved on the Strip. And that details all the different parts of their outreach in ministry and what they're doing. And gosh, like they do everything. Like they will go out on Saturday nights and just bring gifts to people that they see are working, and give contact information saying, listen, if you need help, if you want to get out, if you need anything, just reach out to us. They have a safe house called Destiny House, where anybody that they rescue, instead of just saying, okay, we rescued you, you're out, here's a little something to help you, they said, no, we have a house right here. We have 24/7 services here to help you. They have counselors on staff. They have support staff. They have 24/7 security, because a lot of times, it's not really a safe situation. They're leaving. They equip them with different skills, like job skills. Here's clothes for an interview. Here's anything you need. Like they get, they will support anybody who needs it in any way they can. So I'm sorry, I'm probably not the best at describing this, because there's so much in my head. I love what they, what really the website covers so much of it. And it's amazing because, Las Vegas is where they operate out of. We know that there's such a huge amount of trafficking that happens there. And, and unfortunately, a lot of people do go to Vegas to kind of participate in that and to seek that out. So, you know, you have a lot of people being preyed on in that city. So she is like right there in the midst of, you know, on the battlefield, right there, pulling people from this. And you know what? They get a lot of pushback. I think I remember there was a big controversy where they had gotten a government grant a few years ago, and then everybody freaked out and they lost a lot of donations because people were like, well, why is the government donating to a religious, you know, organization?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. There's so much to it. There's also, like, if you guys just want to read Annie's story, Fallen, out of the sex industry and into the arms of the savior. This is just like in her story and how she got into the industry, how she got stuck in it, and then how she eventually got out and found God and turned her life around and started helping other people. So I don't, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
it was all over the place because as you
no,
can
no,
tell
no.
about it, I love it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I do too, and like she to me is shows people that it doesn't matter how far away you think you are and how
Yeah.
deep you know how like sin doesn't matter, right? I mean, it's like it can be forgiven, and to me, I think that that's a great reminder of just like, you know, you're loved. You're so loved. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So I always want to push that on people. Like
Oh,
you are loved, right? I mean, don't give up. You're loved.
can't fall
Um,
too far.
yeah, yeah. And I was reading on the website here, which is really crazy, but 40 million people are estimated to be trafficked worldwide. I mean, 40 million people. It's unbelievable.
That's like bigger
Um,
than some countries. Like, you know, the population of some countries when you look at that.
yeah.
It's
And
incredible. And it's happening in plain sight. You know, I wonder how many times, you know, in our everyday lives we've walked by somebody who's trafficked and we have no idea.
yeah, yeah, we kind of turn a blind eye or don't think
Yeah.
anything of it.
Yeah.
But only 1% of all trafficking victims actually escape or make it out alive, which it hurts me to read that. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, um, and 79% of trafficking is sex
Hmm.
um, trafficking, which is crazy. But uh, what a blessing. What a blessing this is. You know, and unbelievable the amount of work they put in.
Oh, it's
Um,
incredible.
I mean, and I wish they would, and I heard that they were. I wish they would do a movie on her and what is
Oh,
going on there. And I actually
yeah.
heard that they were talking about that a while ago. I never heard anything else about it, but yeah,
Yeah, I had no idea. But
yeah. So that would be really cool because I
yeah,
think people would see what it's really like and why they have to have security and why they're going in armed and of getting people protected. It's a crazy, crazy world.
well, it's
Um,
crazy. Yeah, definitely. Because I think also the big thing that people don't realize is people think that a lot of people are into the industry, like, and they're free. You know, people are trying to say that, you know, oh, sex work is legitimate work and everything. I forget that this is a buzzword or buzz term that they like to use, but people don't realize that people get caught in that. They might go in of their own will, but then they end up with pimps, they end up trafficked, and they end up not being able to go out. There's very few people who actually work for themselves and are not like stuck in this. And it's not just prostitutes. I mean, a lot of trafficking goes on in strip clubs. You know, in porn, there's like a lot of those actors are trafficked too.
yeah,
So people need to, I feel like, be aware and also realize that when they're supporting these things, you know, when you're going into a strip club, when you're watching porn, you are supporting trafficking a lot of the time, you know,
yeah.
and I think there's that. I don't know if people don't realize if it's an ignorance or if it's just, you know, turning a blind eye, like, all right, I'm just not even going to think about that.
Yeah, I think it's a little of both, but
Mm,
yeah, it's a crazy subject. I mean, you could talk about it all day and all night, you know, and just it's disturbing. I mean, I have a daughter that's 16, so it's one of those things where you're always in fear of you know that happening. So
mhm.
um, I wanted to show this, David. Look at this, David Morales. Thank you so much. So Ashley, if you want to go to PulseCon, David, I already have tickets. I appreciate it. I would, yeah. I mean,
That's
really
so
nice of you.
Thank you so much. You know what? Maybe I can work something out that makes it so much easier for me. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that. Um, South Florida, is such a huge problem.
Oh, shoot,
Yeah,
Miami, right? I think they have major issues in
yeah,
Miami with trafficking. Yeah.
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 Um, Here's a question which I like. How can Hexkins help?
Um, so I think so. We have you can help Hookers for Jesus, but before I get into that, I think what we were talking about, just be aware of where you're putting your money, what you're participating in, and what you're supporting, because it's so easy now in our culture because those things are so much the norm and so accepted. You know, for people to think it's okay, it's completely normal, it's not hurting anybody. And the fact that it does hurt somebody on the other end. So I think that's a big thing, awareness. And then secondly, Hookers for Jesus. So I actually had a chance to speak with Annie yesterday, and
Hmm.
she said that Destiny House, that's their safe house. They're opening a second house. So for the women that graduate from Destiny's house, they're gonna have a transitional house so that they're not just being put out, uh, not into the public, but having to start their own life right away, so that they have a kind of an opportunity to transition in independent living, but still with a lot of support. So they're opening that soon, and they have a huge need right now for furnishing the house. So they're looking for a $45,000 donation. So obviously, I'm not expecting anybody
Yeah.
to give that lump sum, but every single dollar counts, because they actually have a match going on right now. So your money
Mm,
is going to go twice as far, which is awesome. And then another huge need they have is counseling. So they give counseling to every person that is in Destiny House, and they also offer it to people maybe who aren't in the house, but need it, people who've moved on or people that aren't quite in there yet, because they also do lifetime care. They're not just going to drop you, they're going to see how they can support you in any way throughout your life. So they have ongoing needs, about $2,000 to $4,000 a month they pay in counseling bills. So like every dollar counts, like this, so this is I think right now an amazing opportunity with the match. So hookersforjesus.net, you have a couple of different ways you can donate. So thank you
yeah.
for
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah, and they operate totally off of donations.
Right.
And what I love about them compared to some other outreach type programs is that they're not just getting them out of the problem and saying, "Hey, you're on your own," right? They're saying, "Hey, we're going to help you for the
Hmm.
rest of your life if you need us." So
Hmm.
I just think that is in today's world, it's just so needed. It's like because it's hard. I mean, life in general is really, really hard. And when you've been in that environment and trying to come out of it and put your life back together, you need people around you. I mean, I love it. I think it's great.
Especially not to relapse back into that life. Because if you're not given the proper support, I'm sure it's easy to just go back to what you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So cool. I'm so excited. I'm glad that you brought this to us and you're talking about it because when I saw that you had that on your bio, I was like, oh, we have to talk about that.
Oh, in my link tree.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, that's cool. So that's kind of why I was excited that you were willing to come on and talk about it, and just willing to come on in general. I mean, I uh, I think that you are uh, doing some great things, and I mean,
Thank you.
I love that you're real, and that's really refreshing. It's
Thank you.
yeah. So, but stream, you need to do more content. You're great on the camera, so
Oh.
you need to do. I mean, you're trained to do this, so you definitely want to become a streamer and push and do whatever you want to do. I mean,
Oh,
uh,
yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm having fun doing it. So I feel like now that I'm kind of, got over the initial hump and fear of it, I'm like, okay, I think I'll start moving forward more and more. So I'll definitely be doing
yeah,
that. But I gotta say, it's a weird transition. I'm used to being in front of the camera with a script, So, or script in my brain. So it's weird to be generating your own content. It's definitely a learning curve, but I'm having fun learning it.
Yeah, I mean, you can script it as well. You don't have
Yeah.
to. I mean, there is people that do that. I mean, you can tell that I don't, but so, um,
But
but
for me, yeah, I think I like it being conversational like this.
yeah, I do too. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's more real. I don't
Mhm.
like the pre-scripted type stuff. But
Yeah.
so, what is your future plans? So, like a year down the road, what's your goal? I mean, what do you want to be doing a year down the road from now,
Streaming wise or life wise?
life wise?
Life wise. Um, you know, I'm pretty easygoing and go whatever way the wind blows, so wherever it takes me. But my dream, honestly, would be to be able to find a way to maybe generate some passive income with our with the Richard Hart products enough to help me quit my job.
Yeah,
I just my current kind of survival job. It's good, but like I I don't want to be tied down by it anymore. And I think that's one of the wonderful things that could come out of crypto is that financial freedom that leads to life freedom. So I'm hoping that a year down the road, I have a little more freedom in my life. So that's my big thing. Yeah.
good
Yeah.
deal. That's a great answer. And I would urge people out there that are looking for, if you're doing videos or commercials or whatever, this is her right here. You need to hire her. Put
Yeah.
her to work. There's a lot of, the cool thing about the Hexagon community. There's a lot of projects going on. Is you're aware of them as well. And there's a lot of films and commercials and all kinds of stuff that's being worked on. So we need to get you in that bubble there where you can
Oh, I
start.
would love that.
Yeah.
I will do whatever with limits. Yeah, within
Yeah,
reason.
with limits, with limits.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
thank you.
but that's cool. I never knew that about you until I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I mean, it's really
Full of
cool.
surprises.
Yeah. What else you want to talk about? I mean, I oh, I wanted to ask you this.
Mhm.
So what do you think of Elon? I always ask people that.
Okay, so what I think of Elon. Um, I do not trust him or like him very much. So because I think like what he's into and what he's done so far says a lot about him. I think maybe some good things could come out of what he does. Like, okay, cool. Maybe there'll be more freedom of speech over Twitter. Some people are already coming back. People are getting verified, like Richard Hart. So some good can come out of it, but for the most part, I'm like, he's a transhumanist. There's nothing good that could possibly come out of that. He's been a pharmaceutical shill. So just a lot of things don't sit right with me. Um, and I just feel like he's controlled opposition. He's there so we can think he's on our side, the side of the people. But I think he's there for his own interest, and I'm sure past a point, even if he's not involved with those elites that don't like us, I feel like eventually those people just end up entrenched in there anyway.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's it. That's cool. That's interesting. I I mean, I know, I won't say the type of person, but anyone with that kind of income, they're doing things for financial gain, and that's like with the Twitter purchase. It's great for freedom of speech, but I was mentioning when you had to jump off and back on, and I noticed a Twitter post earlier that he had posted a saying that, yeah, we're going to keep it free for the casuals, but for commercial or business, we're gonna probably charge a fee. So, I mean,
Yeah.
potentially all of us here that are trying to stream and stuff, if it's anything
Mhm.
to do with making money on Twitter, we might be charged for it. So,
Yeah.
um,
It's
which
true.
which we kind of knew it was coming, but
Yeah.
is what it is. Thank you, Visional 1999. Great content team. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Visional. Good guy. Or
Yeah,
girl. I don't know. I can't tell with your with your emoji.
I like the emoji. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I always like to. I always just wanted to throw Elon in there because I see some of your posts and you really stay on top of topics. So
Oh, thank
um, and I'm not going to push any on you, but if there's something you want to talk about that you like is
Well,
bugging you, or like, I mean,
you know, oh gosh, there's like a ton of things that annoy me. Um, but just something else I just wanted to just throw in about Elon is like some of the tech that he's doing. Like it's kind of there's like a good and bad of everything. Like it's so amazing that he's bringing internet to the whole world. But
yeah,
then on the other hand, he wants to put chips in people's heads, and yes, it could do some amazing things to people who have certain injuries or illnesses. But then you think chips in people's brains and worldwide connected internet. So I think like sometimes everybody needs to take a step back and look at the bigger picture of Elon Musk. So yeah, so I
yeah.
guess yeah, just so that was the little thought. And you know we're just living in weird times.
Oh man,
Nothing makes sense. You can't trust anyone or anything. So I don't, it's been weighing on me lately that I don't think we're ever going back to normal. People are like, oh no, things are going to be back soon. Look, the laws and mandates are already changing. But really, once we've gotten into this territory where nobody trusts each other, no one trusts the government, no one trusts the media, I think we're in some dangerous territory. And then on top of that, where we've just become so divided as a people, like up until now, yeah, we were divided, we were not getting along. Everything has been polarizing. I would say for the last 15 years, people have been
yeah,
very polarized. But then now when you added COVID to the mix and the people hating on each other, oh, you wear a mask, you don't wear a mask, you're vaccinated, you're not vaccinated, oh, you should die, no, you should die, I hope they die, oh good, I'm glad they got COVID. I feel like once we've gotten into that and we've seen people's true nature, that it's done. We're never going to go back normal. How can you sit at the same table as people who are wishing people dead?
yeah,
Uh, so that's that. You know what? I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I think there's going to be a lot more polarization of people just finding their tribe and being like, you know what? I don't want anything to do with my old friends because I've seen what they're like. I need to be with like-minded people. So I think we're going to get even more divided in the future. I'm so grateful that um, my friends have been okay, that I'm not in that boat, but I see so many other people who are in that.
yeah,
So what do you think? I mean, that's just something that's been on my mind a lot
yeah.
lately.
No, I totally agree.
Mhm.
I don't even know what normal is.
Mhm.
I mean, how do you define it anymore? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, is this the new norm?
Yeah.
With the distractions of let's distract them with this while we do this, and that's the new world that we live in, and it's scary. It
Yeah.
really is. They
Yeah.
think,
Distraction. Yeah. Talk about what's going on today. Huge,
yeah,
that was a draft from February, so it makes you question why they're releasing it now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there's an actor right there. That's
Hey,
what's happening, man. Thanks for popping over here.
congrats
Um,
wrapping another film.
yeah, I think I saw a shot of like him in a it was a it was in a hospital, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, in a hospital bed with the yep. Oh gosh, that you said your mother was gonna kill you. I don't blame her.
Yeah, that looked really real. So that's really cool. Thanks for popping over. Orc Twitter finally shows me Ashley's tweets.
Oh,
That's good.
this hiding me.
Isn't it funny how you get some people's tweets and some you don't? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
and then it changes to me. For me, it changes like daily. Like I'm like, oh, what's that? I didn't see that yesterday, so it's really kind of cool.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and I guess it's yes. Yeah, the algorithm's really odd, and I have like three different things that I follow, so it's wild the way my feed will like. Sometimes it'll be all hex, all crypto, and then other times it'll be like Ted Lasso,
Yeah,
because my
yeah,
Ted Lasso obsession, and then it'll be my favorite actor, so then it'll go back to yeah. So it's a wild
yeah,
algorithm.
yeah. Love you too, bro. Yeah, you need to get her apart. You need to find her apart, man. You need to find her apart. Um, Mexican coin, right back at you. So we got 21 people in. That's good. I saw somebody say there's a ton of streams right now. We're all like back to back for some
Oh,
reason. So it's interesting. So many hex streams back to back overlapping. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I like that. I mean,
yeah.
at least we're covering a lot of the thing about it. And you notice this, like everyone streams different, right? Like
Mhm.
we all have different crowds that we pull. Some are different. I mean, a lot are different than who I pull. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
What's
So
this?
diversity of streams. Don't cross the streams. Isn't that a Ghostbusters?
What was it?
Don't cross the streams.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess so. I guess so. You got this. You got this. Thank you. More reach. Yes, that's what exactly. That's what we're trying to do. Um, and Gabriel's got a direct question for you. Please ask Ashley what she thinks about God.
I think about God. Well, I'm a person of faith. My background, I've been raised in evangelical Christianity my whole life, and I still am that way. So I think God is pretty awesome. But as a Christian, my views on God are that He is three people in one. So that He's God the Father, and He's Jesus the Son, and then He's the Holy Spirit. So those are, I think that pretty much sums up my views on God, and that He sent Jesus down to the earth to save us because we're a fallen species, and to redeem us and to connect us back to Him. And then the trippy thing is He sent Jesus, but Jesus is still Him. So I love that. Don't you love
Yeah, yeah.
the Trinity?
Amen and thank
Oh.
you. Yeah, that's a great question and great. Thank you for answering that, Ash. I know
Thank you.
sometimes people shy away from questions that we get, so I appreciate you being open and honest on it. What do we got here? I'm just jumping on. Lots of laugh, yeah. But what else do you want to talk about? I mean, I didn't have a huge list. I just kind of wanted to meet you and talk about anything that you really wanted to talk about. What are you okay? So let me ask you this question:
Mhm.
Hex, Pulse, or Pulse X? What are you thinking? What do you think is going to outperform?
That's tough. I do feel like Pulse X is gonna outperform initially because of the buy and burn feature. But then a lot of people are saying Pulse is gonna catch up and go past that. But then if Pulse X is becoming more and more rare, it makes you wonder. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
yeah,
can't. It's wild, and
yeah.
it's exciting too to figure it out.
It is exciting. Yeah, I'm just like I don't know the answer, and everybody has a different
Mhm.
opinion. So I can't wait to see what
Yeah, I'm like,
happens.
whatever happens, it's all good. I'm
Yeah,
excited either way.
yeah, yeah. I'm just glad to be part of the community, right?
Same,
So,
yeah.
Gabriel, thank you so much. Perfect answer. So good to hear a woman of faith who also understands the dark side of people like Elon. Yes,
Thank you.
perfect. Yes, I agree with you 100%. And we need more women like you involved in streams and our community, and
Thank you.
just yeah, we need the positive energy that you bring. Let me put
Oh,
it that
thank
way. So whatever I can do to ever help you with that, you let me know, because I would love to help you
Oh, thank you. I
with
so
anything.
appreciate that.
So,
Really kind of you.
yeah,
Yeah, everybody in this community has been so awesome to me.
yeah.
I
So, I
appreciate it.
mean, if you don't have anything else, is there anything else directly you want to talk about that you had kind of on your list that you wanted to mention or talk about?
You know what? I love this. I love the openness that I can talk about whatever I want, but of course my brain goes completely blank when that happens. So let me think. Oh shoot. Because then you know what? I'm gonna hop off the stream and I'm gonna
You're like, man,
talk
I should have
about
talked
that.
about that.
Yeah. So, but speaking of Ted Lasso, go watch Ted Lasso if you haven't seen that.
Oh man, I love Ted Lasso. My wife and I,
Amazing.
we're like, so, oh, come on, when's the next one? When's the next one?
Oh gosh. Yeah, so they're filming season 3 now, and that better not be the last season, and Ted and Rebecca need to get together. That is what I am holding out for because yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they're always hinting at that, and it never happens. So I'm with you on that one for
so
sure.
I'm hoping, yeah, I'm hoping the act 3 is it for them. Not end of the show, but for them. That happens. But so anything else that I'm talking you know what, I can't think of too much else. Nothing is coming to mind.
Okay.
Um
So
but
how
I
did
do Oh,
How
sorry,
do
go ahead.
people catch up with you? Where can
Oh,
people connect with you at?
cool. So my Twitter is Ashley is Ash underscore. And then if you go into my Twitter, I have a link tree with everything there, including a link if you'd like to donate to Hookers for Jesus. YouTube, I am youtube.com/Ashley Ash now. Um, Instagram, I am Ashley is Ash. See, I'm getting better at remembering all these. I'm trying. And then I forget what my TikTok is. I think it's Ashley is Ash3. Yeah. So those are the best ways. I think I am. Yeah, I'm most active on Twitter. I'm an extrovert, and so I love that instant interaction between
Right.
people. Yeah, Twitter's been good. And you know what? And also, I just wanted to jump back to
Sure.
PulseCon and Hookers for Jesus, because you know what? Just the thought that came into my head is Hookers for Jesus is based in LA and PulseCon is in LA. So maybe it would be cool if we can get something going for Hookers for Jesus, have some
Mm,
sort of collaboration happening. Maybe Annie could come in and speak. So
that would be very cool.
I thought maybe we could
Huh.
do, because you know what? One of the things that I love about the Hex community is everyone is so amazing and generous and genuinely just like cares for other people. And I know a lot of other people have expressed interest in Hookers for Jesus. So I think it could be a cool partnership that could happen, especially with like, the cons happening out there. So
Yeah.
just an idea.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. And I know I probably know who to talk to. So I'll see
Oh,
what I can do on that.
oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I'll make a
Exciting.
few I'll make a few outreach calls and we'll see what we can do. That would be a really cool idea, I think. So,
Awesome. Yeah,
um,
that would be cool. Thank you.
you're welcome. I think we're coming in right in an hour, and I think it's I would just want to say thank you again for joining me. It's really nice to meet you. It's nice to have such a positive influence in their community, and keep doing
Thank,
what you're doing.
thank you
You're really
so much.
we all appreciate you, and any way that we can help, let us know. I'm going to plug her again. If you've got a commercial, if you've got film, anything, she is looking for work. She is a trained actress, and she's ready to go to work. So reach out to her.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it was awesome meeting you, T. Rob. And I hope we cross paths in real life in the maybe hopefully in Vegas.
Yes, yes, for sure. But I'd love to have you back anytime.
Awesome. I would love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, that was awesome. Had Ashley Ash. What a strong, powerful influence in this community, and she's just touching on that. And I think that her future is going to be bright with her content that she's working on. And I'm excited to see what's coming for her in the future. But again, she is looking for work, and I'm not afraid to push that because I think the type of person she is, you're probably going to get a quality person that's going to work. So if you've got a film, video, commercial, all these hexagons, I know you guys are doing a lot of different things with advertising. Maybe we need a face for that. So definitely look her up on Twitter. It's Ashley Ash. You can put her name in and she'll come up. But thanks everyone for joining. I wanted to say really quick to Visional, thank you so much for the 1999. I really appreciate that. Great content. And David, really what a blessing. And I'll have Ashley reach out to you if she can make that happen. But really, really nice of you to do that, and very thankful for that. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Be back tomorrow night at 7. Interviewing Power City, which is kind of a cool concept. They've got a lot of different things going on. So we're going to interview them tomorrow night. Thanks again for tuning in to the Biz Pulse. We'll talk to you tomorrow.